Hello, this is Mr. Jarrett, and in this video tutorial, we're going to be 3D modeling this object in SolidWorks. So this object uses construction lines and then creates a plane through those dots at the ends. So the vertex points at the ends of construction lines to create this very oddly shaped cut surface. So you can kind of see we have overall like a normal shape, just a big rectangular shape. And then this cut kind of starts here, a ½ inch in, ends at 2. It starts in here. I mean, it's like on an odd surface. So we're going to be creating the overall shape of this first, and then creating construction lines that are going to help us actually create the vertex points that we can put the plane through. So I notice my origin's on the corner. I've got decimal places, so I can see up here that this is in inches. I'm going to pull this to the side, and that's our finished version of this. So let's start a new part. Make sure we're in inches. And I'm going to be sketching on the front plane. Just going to use the rectangle tool to draw the overall size of this. I'm going to dimension the overall height, which on the side says it's 2.75. The overall width of this is 3.5. I'm going to extrude. Features tab and extrude. And I'm going to send this backwards because the origin is on the front, and the overall depth is 2.5. Alright, so I have my overall shape of this. Now we need to start making our concept or our construction lines. So we're going to go up to the sketch tool. I'm going to sketch on this front surface again. I'm going to get my line tool. I'm going to make this a construction line. And I'm going to go from here, the origin, just out and up to this area. Okay, and then I'll hit escape on my keyboard. Now, why am I going to that area, and how do I know the length of that? Well, when I'm looking at this angled surface, I need to find some points that are reference points for myself to understand. So down here on this flat side, we can see that 2 inches over this angled line, or this angled surface comes through, and it's a ½ inch up. So I'm making a construction line that's going from there to here, just because I have those two given numbers, so I know it's going to go through that exact spot. Okay, so that's going to be the first one. So I'm going to dimension, and the length, so from this dot to the origin, going straight down is going to be 2. Okay, and to that dot, that is going to be a ½ inch. Sketch. That's going to be my first one. I'm going to rotate around, and I'm going to make another sketch. But if I just hit the sketch button right now, that sketch is still selected, so it's going to put me back in edit mode. So just click out the blank area, so it deselects it, as you can see. We're going to sketch up on top now. So now I'm looking at the top of this to see where that plane also cuts through. So I can see on this edge, it's a ½ inch in, and on that back edge, it's 1.63 inches in. Get my line tool, make a construction line. I'm going to go from the origin over. Okay, I'll hit escape. Get my line tool, from that back corner over. And now I'm going to dimension both of these. So the bottom one here says it's a ½ inch. This top one is 1.63. I'm going to hit return from sketch. So now I've got 3 different points that this odd surface cuts through. So let's go over to our Features tab and hit Reference Geometry and Plane. And our first reference is going to be the dot at the end. So select that dot, the other ones, and the third one. You can see it creates a plane cutting through those 3 different points at that weird angle. So hit the green check. I'm going to sketch, not on that plane, but I'm actually going to sketch on the end of this. Okay, so I'm going to sketch on the end of this surface. And why? So we're going to use that plane as a stopping point for our cut. So at the end of this surface, we have 2 little rectangles down here that are a ½ inch wide, ½ inch up, ½ inch wide, ½ inch up, and they're from the corners. So let's draw that. So we'll get my rectangle tool, just draw a little box, draw a little box. Of course, you could mirror this, but all of these lines are going to be equal, so we'll just highlight all of them and say equal. Make this a 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch over, 1/2 inch up. Now I'll go to the Features tab, and I'm going to hit Extrude Cut. Okay. Right now it selects those two boxes. So instead of those two boxes, if we select the selected contours, actually select this area instead. So we just drew those two boxes because we didn't have to then go all the way up and around and all that stuff. Just easier. Now instead of cutting all the way in like blind, we're actually going to change that to up to surface. And we're going to use that plane as if it was a surface. So we'll select the plane. It's going to make that odd cut in until it hits that plane. Green check. And see what we're left with. And so that's pretty much the main portion of this. Now it also has a cut through the middle here, but that's pretty easy. I'm just going to rotate around and I'm going to sketch on this back side here. That's just one big rectangle that if we look at the picture, we can see that rectangle is 3/4 of an inch in from either side, and it's down 3/4 of an inch. Just to mention, this is 0.75, and then it's 0.75 in from both sides. I'm going to cut. I'm going to send that through all. Okay. So now if I want to turn off those planes and stuff, I can. I just go over here and right click and hit the eyeball for hide. Change our material. It says it's gray cast iron. And we want to make sure we don't click the one that says SN. Okay, this one. Hit apply and close. Let's evaluate and see what we got. These properties here look like it's right on. We have 3.39 pounds. Everything else looks good. So if you did not get that, please go back in the video and try to problem solve your way through it. But if you did, you can save it and you can move on to the next one.